I'll keep trying, but there's not much to be done for Fort Northreach.
Envoy, hello. I'm glad to see you on your feet. Kai.
Tej.
I'm surprised they let you in here.
I'm surprised you're still gainfully employed.
It's nothing like that. You run into all sorts of characters around here, is all. Some more polite than others. I didn't mean anything by it, Envoy. He's just curious company for you to keep.
Hey, somebody has to have the envoys back, because you all sure didn't.
No one expected the Envoy to get assassinated.
Exactly. Amateurs. Well.
Kai?
Come on, it's funny. Tej caused a ruckus last time he was slumming it at the Bala Rock. You were trying to kill a man, if I remember right. I had to put you outside.
You threw me into the canal.
You lived.
That water's filthy. I had the runs for 3 days.
Gods, Tej. The envoy doesn't need to know that.
The fellow cheated me. I couldn't let that slide, or he'd think we were all marks.
It was over a dice game, right? Tej here has a gambling problem.
Great. Let's air all my troubles. Is there anything else?
The bartender sleeping with your girlfriend.
You're lying.
You sure about that?
We'll talk about this later.
I'm not breaking up with her for you. Just so we're clear.
That's more than enough. Thank you. Was there anything I could help you with, Envoy? Naturally, sir. How can I help you? There's a lot of ground to cover. Could you be more specific? Ah, the age-old question. Who's bigger? Adir is, naturally, by a wide margin. And were we at the Cartographers Guild in High Crown, I could show you on one of their globes. As it is, we must make do in the theater of our minds. The Living Lands are located in the far north of Aora. Adir is southwest of the Living Lands, situated along the equator. The Living Lands are more arid than Adir, and the island is more prone to storms. But its many deep valleys protect the various townships from the worst of the weather. Topographically speaking, the Living Lands are a place of extremes. Deep inland, mountains rise high enough to rival those of the White March, blanketed year-round in snow. While east of the volcano of Mount Forja is an acid sea that sinks far below the level of the ocean. The lands between them are riven with deep clefts in the earth and isolated by wastelands of sun-baked sand dunes. I'll share what I can. There is no singular authority in the Living Lands.
Not yet, anyway.
I shudder to think what the Living Lands would look like under your rule.
Well, to start, there'd be a lot more brothels.
Charming. Power is invested in the leaders of the various townships scattered across the island. The largest are Fjord, Thirdborn, and Solace. None of which, I will note, are as safe and orderly as Paradise. Everything you need to know about Thirdborn is in its name. It was founded by the third-born children of Rawatai, Navy dropouts, smugglers, and hands for hire. Almawa and Orleans, mostly.
Home, sweet home.
You're free to go back any time you like.
I like my current circumstances just fine, thanks.
They are people, in short, who couldn't cut it in the civilized world and had to make room on the margins. Unfortunately, they are currently besieged by the Dream Scourge. We have sent some troops to lend what help we can, and the mayor, Temerity, was appropriately grateful, but I don't know how long they'll hold out. I'm an open book. What would you like to know? Depends on who you ask. Ambassador Heelgard will tell you that our remit here is to establish a secure and orderly environment from which to engage in trade. Inquisitor Ludwig will tell you we're here to break the frontier.
So, which is it?
Why not both? That's where you come in. Whether you find your desires aligning with the ambassadors or the inquisitors, neither can succeed until the Dream Scourge is ended. We are only beginning to see its effects here in Dawnshore, but the closer to the center of the island you go, the worse it gets. That bear you and the ambassador encountered in the Strangle Route isn't even the worst of it, and the tide of this soul plague is rising higher every day. The Resistance, as such, are largely a group of misfits and criminals intent on undermining the rule of law. They take out loans with small Adiran banking houses and do not pay them, then assault the bankers who attempt to collect. They agree to contracts with families in Adir seeking homes, and when their ships arrive, promptly abandon them. When we levy a small tax to fund the repair of city roads, they set our counting house on fire. And when our fishermen return to port, they board their ships and sink them.
That's certainly one way to characterize them. It's not exactly wrong, but it's not exactly right either.
For decades, people like them ruled this city through fear. We imposed order, and now they oppose us. You, unfortunately, were caught in the crossfire. Of course. Consider yourself lucky. Inquisitor Ludwig is the commander of the Steel Garrote in Paradise. Were you to ask her, she'd say she keeps the peace. But she doesn't keep it so much as prosecute it, as ruthlessly as the ambassador will let her. She's also a veteran of the Steel Garrote's campaign in the Deathfire, where she died.
She's a Death Guard. Well, that explains a lot.
I don't know what happened to her there, but I suppose Wodeka wasn't done with her yet. Do you think so? I've always found her inflexibility comforting. Wodeka's edicts are clear. If you obey her laws, pursue justice, punish the guilty, and give fealty to the Emperor, then you have pleased her, and I aim to please. But Wodeka does not trust. She demands that you declare yourself for her again and again. Her every request is a test, and her every test is an opportunity to disappoint her. I appreciate a god who makes you work for their grace. I don't want anything given to me for free. Death Guards are surpassingly rare. Some of the secretaries who traveled with our dignitaries in the Deathfire spoke of one named Iser, a devotee of Berith, who guards the hanging sepulchres there. But I've heard of no others except those I've read about in the histories, or, as you say, in stories. They are people, most often paladins or priests, so devoted to a cause that they simply refuse to pass on to the wheel when they die. Their soul haunts their body. The passion required to sustain them devours their flesh, and they swiftly turn to bone. I've never read a history nor tale of a death guard that did not end with them going quite mad. When they lose their capacity to care for anything but their cause, they cannot love. And when they cannot love, they cannot be merciful. And so everything before them becomes only an obstacle. I only met her once. She was a mid-level member of the Steel Garrote then, chasing oathbreakers who'd fled Adiran law. She'd come back to the Imperial Archives to borrow a map to a place called Oathbinder's Sanctum. I remember she was furious because the map was quite poor. She worried about finding the place, about properly executing her duty to her god. She wanted, I think, to do a good job. So, while clearly she has changed, in some sense, I'd say she's much the same. Think upon your promises and die. That's the litany of the Steel Garrote, usually said right before they kill you. They're an order of paladins born and bred in Adir, though clearly they've found plenty of work beyond our borders. Their remit is simple but comprehensive. They punish all who break their oaths. In practice, that has historically meant contracts. One lord or merchant will hire the Steel Garrote to bring a duplicitous rival to justice.
Fun bunch. What are they doing in Paradise?
Since the events in the Deadfire, their operations have expanded. The Steel Garrote has always been associated with Wodaka. Now they are explicitly her order. And they go wherever Wodaka's priests, or Wodaka herself, believes there is a need for them to go. The Living Lands are a dangerous, lawless frontier in sore need of order. Thus, they are here. Or so the Steel Garrote say. By all means. Freak, I did. Terrible shame what happened to his brother. It sounds like his injuries were severe. I saw you two talking. I hope you can help him, Envoy. I don't mean to twist your arm, but don't delay too long. There have been earthquakes in the region lately, floods, cave-ins. Gods know what else is possible down in that cave. You're the only one we have with the expertise for that kind of field work.
Aside from the people in trouble down there, which says something to the danger in that cave.
Whatever I think of the Expeditions Corps, they serve a vital purpose to the Empire. I'm glad it's you going after them. Well, you'll notice I'm nearly always here. If that man sleeps, I don't know about it. He wouldn't say, but I believe he relied on the Claviger far more than he lets on. And without the Claviger's steady hand at the rudder, the ambassador's struggling just to bail water from the sinking ship that is Paradise.
Claviger Amon might have tolerated a little more chaos than the ambassador liked, but he kept this place humming. He's not someone you can easily replace, and not with one man alone.
It's a difficult job. The pressure sometimes gets the better of him. But if he loses his temper now and then, I can't blame him for it. Better him than me. Oh, be serious. Most of us here didn't get sent to the frontier because we were anybody's favorite. The longer I'm here, the more likely the people who matter are to forget me. And I'd actually like to get back to High Crown someday. Get married, have a few kids, take the civil exams, and settle into a permanent clerkship.
I guess there are worse ways to spend a life.
Like rotting in this embassy. He doesn't know what to do with himself. You know, in our first days here, he'd often walk to the end of the docks at sunrise. The work was done, the embassy was closed, and he'd still be wearing the same clothes he'd slept in at his desk. And he'd just stare out over the sea. He always seemed dissatisfied back then. I suppose, years later, he still does. Of course. Should you ever need me, I will be here. Safe travels, Envoy.
Envoy, is it really you?
The Dream Scourge has driven people to the city. Means more bandits on the road.
I can't believe you're alive. When they dragged you to Liviana's clinic, I assumed the worst. How do you feel? Your fealty to our homeland conquers death itself. What an inspiration. But we'll return to the topic of your untimely demise shortly. Our first order of business is your purpose here in the Living Lands. Captain Cynric said you have a missive for me from the Emperor. Executed faithfully, Envoy. Very good. I'm eager to see what our Emperor intends. Now, His Majesty names you a loyal servant of the Adiran Empire, and an extension of the throne's authority. Thank goodness, at least someone understands the gravity of our situation. Here's something to tide you over, but your work isn't finished just yet. You've seen how wild the Living Lands has become, both in nature and in politics. Sometimes I think the island has a mind of its own. No sooner had you arrived than you found yourself at the center of our troubles. That you are, and not just on account of your noble heritage. This embassy has no shortage of political foes, but the Dream Scourge is what keeps me up at night. You've seen firsthand what it can do in nature. We can't let it reach the cities. Thank you, Envoy. The island is in capable hands. Inquisitor Ludwig thinks the plague is a distraction. She's more concerned about these local rebels fighting against the Empire. At least rebels know the meaning of negotiation and compromise. But a plague kills indiscriminately. Though, even I must admit, the rebels have gone too far. They've sabotaged our work, killed our soldiers, and the final straw, attacked you out in the open. Indeed, the killer sent a message, but this is our chance to send one in return. I won't lie to you, Envoy. Our position is tenuous. If we can't even defend ourselves, how are we to defend the Living Lands? But defend it we must, for the sake of everyone who calls this island home. Inquisitor Ludwig demands that someone hang for the attempt on your life. These Paradisen rebels must face justice. Ludwig goes where she likes, haunting the Living Lands like a vengeful spirit. She'll reappear when she chooses, and not a moment sooner. Let's make sure to give her some good news for a change.
Not many get a chance to solve their own murder, you know. I know someone who could help. A dwarven tracker named Marius. Kith or beast, there's little he can't find. He's staying at the Grinning Ballarrock, not far from Liviana's infirmary. We just take the main road east to the market, then head down the stairs and cross the canal. Rough part of town, even by the standards of Paradise. I can tell you're skeptical, but remember that you're an outsider here, and a lot of Kith aren't exactly thrilled to see so many Adirans in their midst.
New weeds. A new beast in the tall grass. Predator or mate?
As you've seen firsthand, you could use some local help, especially if we really are after Paradisans.
I suggest you recruit as many allies as you can, but choose carefully. They, like you, will represent the Empire. Before we can send you off to parts unknown, we need assurances from the local healer that you're fully recovered. After all, you survived a brush with death. The health of your body is one thing, the health of your soul is another. An unusual course of treatment, but who am I to argue? Remember, the assassin is out there. You have the element of surprise. I suggest you use it. Oh, the people will love it. Nothing pleases them more than watching a noble dirty their hands. We'll talk more of the Dream Scourge when you return. Until then, Envoy.
How about we start with Marius at the Grinning Balrog? Besides, I could use a drink after all this.
Yeah.
Here it comes. Coming in hot. I don't think the new owners like company. You take lead. Ready. Aim. Stand back. Aye, aye. Where now? Here it comes. Oh, no, you don't. Good one. Another win, but who's counting? and rough! Unseen, unheard. For you! Guess the deer and discipline doesn't apply to pest control. Yeah. Yeah.
Come on. Walk in, give her the letter, and go. You can do this. You don't have to say anything. The letter will do the talking for you. Sort of. Maybe you can help. I was seeing this girl, Nasha, down at the bathhouse. I'm sure it was just business at first, but we fell in love. I haven't been in a while, though. And the thing is, I've met someone else. I suppose. Still, I can't just abandon her. I wrote her a letter, but I'm too cowardly to deliver it. If you're headed that way, would you mind giving it to her? Right. Of course. I can pay you. I'd pay anything to not feel so guilty. Thank you. I used to wonder why no one talked about this. Now I understand. Nasha should be working right now. The place is called the Mermaid's Den. It's the big one with the balcony and the round window. If you get lost, look for the mermaid mural. You can't miss it. And here's some coin for your trouble.
Yeah.
Let me catch my breath.
knows. But what's the point? It's useless without that Adra. Oh, you are a special one, you are. I thought all the godlikes were taken back, wherever they came from. Don't mean a thing by it. I'm glad to see not all the gods have abandoned us. Of course, of course. Just making small talk. Not trying to offend your Adirian sensibilities. My apologies. I am an alchemist, trying, and failing, to save lives. May have inhaled a few too many fumes, eh? Very kind of you to ask. Very kind. You're the first to offer to help me in, well, ever. Sapiento di Falva, alchemist and dreamer, at your service. My latest experiment was meant to solve the scourge that has come over the local flora and fauna, but it wasn't meant to be. I expected my main reagent to be delivered today, but I suppose the gods had other ideas. Quite likely. Tell me, was it drooling? I'd love to... never mind. Neither here nor there. No one knows how best to describe it, but we can all see it. Something is distorting the life around here, and I hoped to stop it. Possibly, yes. But now I can't begin my tests without my main reagent. I have everything I need, but the most important part, the luminous Adra, to cleanse the souls of the wildlife. The gentlemen who are supposed to acquire my Adra have not delivered it, and they seem to be avoiding me, as if they fear my wrath. Oh, it's very hard to find. It comes only from the Deadfire Archipelago, and when refined, can have wondrous effects. Enhanced strength and stamina, slower aging too. I've even heard it has a pleasant minty flavor when mixed correctly. My friends must have lied, or they got the Adra and lost it. I can't imagine why else they would be acting so strange about it. No, I certainly didn't want anyone to steal anything. I definitely never meant to get anyone in trouble. If anything I did led to those people getting hurt, I'd have a hard time getting past it. I'd be very grateful. I know it looks like I'm crying, but it's from the acrid fumes I inhaled earlier. Any luminous Adra will do, he said, as if the stuff were falling from the sky. My friend, any chance you found some luminous Adra for me? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. If you do find some, bring it back here, and I'll make it worth your time.
Step right up. I can tell you need more fire in your life. Or maybe more essence. Please buy something. I'm trying to prove a point. My sister, the blacksmith, she doesn't think this will work out. I say she's wrong. Why keep a dagger under your pillow when you can use a ward stone instead? See? You understand? It's not cheating. It's being prepared. Of course not. I wouldn't sell you something I thought would kill you. That's not good for business. I did that once. I had to hire a watcher to get the phantom out. I suppose I shouldn't brag about that to a potential customer.
Ah, Envoy. Are you looking for work by chance? A pleasure, Envoy. I'm Aldrich, the bounty master of Paradise. If it suits your fancy, check the board for work. The dangerous kind. Some more than others. Speak to me when you've got something to turn in. Hey, someone had to take the job. Ensuring that these threats to the good people of Paradise are eliminated is my way of helping. I guess I consider it my first steps down a long road to atonement. Apologies, friend, but that's none of your concern. I left there for a reason, and now I'm here. And that's all you need to know. Show it here. I don't envy you having gone into that horrid place, but I'm thankful you did so. Be safe out there, you hear?
The hunters set that up as a way to earn some extra coin.
Oh, Octave. Now that's a dwarf with a chip on his shoulder. Heard he burnt the last ones that went after him alive. Going to take on the ogre then? Reckon he's the most dangerous bounty we've got. Be careful now. Tempestuous Luandi caught your eye, huh? Watch yourself. Her aim is as sharp as her wit. Ain't many ways into that camp from what I've heard. You might want to consider trying to find one. A frontal assault would be mighty reckless.
You there. You look like you know your way around... hello. I heard what happened. I see why you'd want to protect yourself. Probably because I made them. Or most of them, anyway. If it didn't keep them alive, they weren't skilled enough to use it. Ever heard the saying, a bad hunter blames Galawain for their bow? You mean enchanted? No. A shield does its job just fine. It doesn't need to be tinkered with. Talk to my sister if you're interested in that kind of thing. She's over there. At least I don't think she's blown herself up yet. I don't know where she gets it. I'd swear she was adopted if we didn't look alike. 3 generations of hammering, and then she comes along. Guess souls are strange like that. You made it back.
I always thought they should move to High Market. Then they'd make enough to eat.
The affairs of men have no place at this tree. Oh, it just doesn't work.
What do you want? Quickly! I have an audience waiting for me. You did. Well, not so much reciting it as beating it to death. My friends thought it'd be funny to get roaring drunk last night. Only one showed up today, and he was in no shape to perform. They've all gathered out there, and I don't have a show to give them. I can't play every part myself. I just can't. I suppose they wouldn't object to a one-man show? The question is, which one? I've only memorized a few. I could do Beltramo's Lament, or the Deerwood Tree, or maybe the May Queen's Conquest. Yes, that should do perfectly. Thank you again, my friend. Now to go out and face them. Dear listeners, a solo performance I have for you today. Prepare to be awed by feats of verse and memory. But before the show begins, perhaps a demonstration to whet your appetites. Follow me on an auditory adventure, a tour of the living lands and its most wild creatures. First, let me introduce you to the mating call of the Stelgar, the ruin of so many. A silent and stealthy feline. Few have heard its call, and fewer still have lived to tell the tale. Hold your applause, my dear friends. There's more to come. Perhaps you've heard the fearsome Stelgar before. After all, just a small few have lived after running into one. But have you ever heard the distress call of a fearsome Bellerock? Of course not! Bellerocks live deep within the living lands, rarely seen by any but the bravest souls. And if you are unlucky enough to face this scaled abomination, they are dangerous from teeth to tails. Now, when you hear this, I must ask that you remain where you stand. There is nothing to fear. All is well, I assure you. It's as if the monsters are present with us at this very moment, is it not? But fear not, it is only I. Thank you all for your time. My name is the Guru, and it has been an honor to perform for you. Allow me just a brief intermission, and I promise yet more to dazzle and delight you. Unyielding, undying, your leaves whisper the years. In your bark lies the memory of 1,000 shaded souls. Unyielding, undying, your leaves whisper the years. In your bark lies the memory of 1,000 shaded souls.
You should see the drunks try to grab the lanterns. Gets me every time.
Are you sure this will work?
Good sir, I'd bet my life on it. My formula is the most effective in the living lands.
I've tried 3 of these cures before. Why should yours be different?
If I gave my secret out, it wouldn't be special, would it? Now remember, 3 drops every time you wash your hair. Only on the scalp, though.
Why?
You don't want to see the man who put it on his chest.
Gods, I hope this works.
Oh, dear Envoy. You look like you could use my product.
I wouldn't go up there, stranger. That's Sparrowhawk territory. Hail. I take it you're new to these parts? If so, you're going to want to heed my advice. Up these stairs is the Pearl District. Ever since the Sparrowhawks took over, it's become a right deadly place. A group of smugglers. Vicious killers, the lot of them, as far as I'm concerned. A number of artisans actually support these piles of Stelgar dung, if you can believe it. They see them as a beacon of independence, resisting your countrymen. Oh, watch out for their leader. He's a big, mean bastard, that one.
Big? No offense, but I've eaten chickens bigger than you.
Says you, fishman. Can you believe the cheek on that one? Thala the Taskmaster, they call him. An ogre, if you can believe it. Only seen him once myself, and I hope it stays that way. Aye, it is. A shame this one makes such a point of being a waste of flesh.
Adherents ain't welcome around the Pearl District. Mind yourself.
God, you've got a real ugly mug.
Smile, and you break it, you buy it. Wonder who he crossed. Doesn't take much out here. Those are the papers the Adiran refugees are waiting for.
Best watch your step around here, envoy. This is my district.
So, the puny godkin wishes to speak with the great Thala. You and your countrymen are not welcome in this district. My district. Is that clear? How about that? An Adiran that actually understands humility. Never thought I would see the day. I would be lying if I said I wasn't just waiting for the opportunity to crush you into the ground. One little slip in my district, Imperial Lapdog, and it'll be the last you ever make. Easier said than done, little godkin. The streets of Paradise are slick with blood. Now be gone. Thala tires of your yammering.
Let's leave them alone. They look worried for someone.
What the? How'd you get through me? Watch your back. Or don't.
Let us in, sweetheart.
I told you, we're closed.
Not for us, you not.
What's a man gotta do to get his needs met around here?
Huh. If you think we'll roll over after you steal from us.
That's exactly what I think.
Fine. Take it up with Juliana.
Oh, don't worry. We will.
Go on. Juliana's inside. Doesn't bite, unless you ask.
Please, this is all I have.
All you have is not enough. Huh. Aren't you the Outlander who died in the streets? How are you... It doesn't matter.
You've got to help. He's gonna hurt me again.
Everyone take a deep breath. No one is hurting anyone else today. Right?
Listen to me, dead man. What happens here does not concern you. Walk away. Ha! You Adherans always think everyone's out to get you. If I wanted to kill you, you'd be dead already. This is getting tiresome. I wasn't really gonna hurt the apothecary, but I'm really, really gonna hurt you. Well, I heard the godlike have gold in their bellies. We can't both be right, so let's see who's wrong. Stand still, Outlander. This is gonna hurt.
Take your best shot.
Coming for you. Yeah.
See this metal.
Let's see what you got. Where's my mark? One's mine. I can't.
Beyond sick. See miss me.
Yeah.
This time, you're gonna stay.
Whatever a man wins at cards, he's bound to lose it here.
What's the matter? Has he done something?
He bores me to death, that's all. He knows Ambassador Heelguard, so we can't throw him out either.
You don't have to listen to him. You just have to look like you are. Amazing what some will pay for you to bat your eyelashes at them.
Please, tell me more about Audra Charters.
Exactly like that.
You're the talk of the town, Envoy. Everyone wants to meet you. Good nose. Hope you don't stick it in politics. They don't like envoys around here. People are always uneasy about power. Until they have it, that is. It is. It cost me a small fortune to bring it in. Though I'm afraid only a few of our wealthy patrons have noticed it. They're certainly particular. Funny what some people will spend their fortunes on, isn't it?
Always wondered why a boat wasn't enough. Maybe I have simple tastes.
Now, if you've come to avail yourself, I'm sorry. We're closed. I'm out of some supplies that should have been here days ago. I'd hunt them down myself, but I don't have a firm enough hand. I need someone with more authority. Someone, well, someone like you. It is. I never thought I'd be so glad to see one of these things. You're lucky you're honest. Otherwise, I'd scold you for those sticky hands. Believe me, the pleasure is all mine. It's nice to have found at least one Adiran I can rely on. Come back any time for a hot bath or a cup of tea. My door is always open.
Ever thought about my line of work? You have the cheekbones for it.
I wish that painter would come by more often.
I hope Elia's all right. I haven't seen her in an age.
I didn't say you could watch.
Can't you see I'm busy?
Are you here to see Juliana? Or can I help you with something else? Belia? But she hasn't come by in a couple of months. Did something? Oh, I understand. Of course, it all makes sense now. That poor girl. She thinks everything that goes wrong is her fault. I'm glad she's found someone. Yes, I did. Just not in the way she thought I did. Or perhaps not in the way she wanted. Thank you for bringing that letter, though. I was worried about her. I'll send one back. That should make her feel better. I miss talking to Belia sometimes, but it's for the best.
Yeah.
I can't stop worrying about the dream scourge. What if it happens to us?
Ignore that. It's just a rumor.
Please, this is all I have.
All you have is not enough.
I'm telling you, there's no coin left. Business has been slow.
Fine, we'll make a deal. I can break your arms, or I can break your legs.
This can't be happening. Help!
Yeah. Huh. Aren't you the Outlander who died in the streets? How are you... It doesn't matter.
You've got to help. He's gonna hurt me again.
Everyone take a deep breath. No one is hurting anyone else today. Right?
Listen to me, dead man. What happens here does not concern you. Walk away. Ha! You Adherans always think everyone's out to... This is getting tiresome. I wasn't really gonna hurt the apothecary. But I'm really, really gonna hurt you. You should have thought of that before sticking your nose in my business. Stand still, Outlander. This is gonna hurt.
Beyond seek.
Coming for ya! Hold it, you!
Next one's mine. Right flank.
Beyond seek.
Time to wrap.
mess me too.
This time, you're gonna stay dead.
Thanks, soldier.
Please, this is all I have.
Huh.
Everyone, right?
Listen. Or what? You'll die on me? This is getting tiresome. I wasn't really gonna hurt the apothecary. But I'm really, really gonna hurt you.
Listen, I get it. Times are tough, and you thought this man was easy pickings. Now, you know better. So, walk away while you can.
A scrawny human and a tree trunk of an Almawa. I can take those odds.
Hey, boss, maybe we shouldn't. Fighting a godlike seems wrong somehow.
I knew you'd gone soft. We'll settle this as soon as I'm done here.
Show me what you got.
See you mess me too.
On your right. They won't get past me. About that one.
Unseen.
See you mess me too. I'm sick.
Try. Give me a second. Out of the way. Let's see what you got.
I'm sick.
Still recovering. Hey! Over here! You're a good friend.
If the militia had any formal instruction, they'd get it here.
You're free to pass through the gate now.
Surprised they'll let us walk out of here.
stopping me?
So, you're the one they all crow about, eh? Best hunter and guide in all of Dawnshore?
Just Dawnshore? Phew, must be slipping.
You just look like a drunken dwarf to me. Seen 1,000 of you roaming back home in Adir. Ha! The mighty Marius, deep in his cups, ready to take on the deadliest prey, providing they're asleep at the time.
Right. Take another sip of my cool. Rude not to finish a drink someone bought for you.
No wonder you're hiding behind a mug. You're too worried about being polite to survive out there.
The dwarf there is Marius. Best tracker I know.
I heard you're from Solace Keep. How great a survivor could you be, hiding behind stone walls all your life?
You don't know anything about me, you Adiran Nimdut. So maybe go back and take another blessed day sip.
But here you are. Tell me, how does one get kicked out of a place that never lets anyone leave?
Dukte Drago Saka Saptitule. You want to talk so much, I'll cut you a second mouth across your throat.
Marius can handle himself. Of course, if you're bored, we could always start something anyway. I'm with you, ready to crack some heads.
You stay out of it, Envoy. This isn't your problem.
They say he has the Emperor's ear. Might not be worth the trouble.
The gods smile on you today, Marius. You won't always have someone around to protect you. Watch your back, Marius.
Step off, Marius.
Well, that was something. Thanks for stepping in there. I had it handled, but I'm happy I didn't have to.
Marius, this is the infamous Adiran envoy. Envoy Marius.
Well, any friend of Kai's is definitely a person. I need to see the scene of the crime, over by the town gates. I promise there's something left there we can use to track them. Then they wouldn't need much of a reason to go after an Adiran official. Plenty of stale water there. Still, it's dangerous to make assumptions based on stereotypes. We need more of a trail to go on. We'll figure this out, Amakul. Don't you worry. One moment.
Oh, hey, Envoy. Appreciate you stopping that fight. I haven't known many Adirans who tried to settle things peaceably. If that's why you did it, you've got your work cut out for you. Now, what'll it be?
Go eavesdrop on someone else.
What's going on back there?
You saved my life. He would have killed me, and all for a few coins.
Think nothing of it. Any law-abiding citizen would have done the same.
Sit down. What do you want? If you want information, I've got it. Just a matter of what you'll pay for it. I hear there's trouble out in Thirdborn. They're blocking the roads off, and they won't tell anybody why. There's a rumor about a valuable Pargroon stash north of here. You didn't hear that from me, though.
Smell that salty air. Home.
Yeah.
you just going to stand there and gawk at that body all day?
He's dead. It's not like I can do anything for him, now can I?
You can see that the poor
Please, this is all I have.
Huh.
Everyone, right? You seem to...
Listen to me, dead man. What happens here just... Or what? You'll die on me?
Have to admit, that's a good one.
This is getting tiresome. I wasn't really gonna hurt the apothecary, but I'm really, really gonna hurt you.
Why did you have to bring size into this?
He's only saying that because these fools wouldn't stand a chance against you. Listen, I get it. So?
A scrawny human and a tree trunk of an alma.
Hey, boss, maybe we shouldn't.
I knew you'd gone.
Watch yourselves.
We are done speaking, Adiran. Go taint someone else's air.
Please, this is all I have.
Huh. Aren't you the outlander who died in the streets? How are you... It doesn't matter.
You've got to help.
Everyone take a deep breath, right?
You seem to like beating up on little guys. Want to take a run at me?
Listen to me, dead man. What happens here does not concern you. Walk away.
He's been shaking me down for half my earnings, but now I can't afford to feed my family.
Take it easy. He's gonna walk away and leave you in peace, right?
Unless you want another arrow in your guts, turn around and leave us to our business. You don't scare me, godlike. I've hunted nameless terrors in the deep wilderness. This is getting tiresome. I wasn't really gonna hurt the apothecary, but I'm really, really gonna hurt you.
Last person I know who did it died with her boots full of Sokka.
Well, I heard the godlike have gold in their bed. Stand still.
Arms up.
I'm coming
Here we
for
go.
ya.
One for you.
This time, you're gonna stay dead.
I got this. Quit moving. Aim where? Oh, that hurt. Out of the way. Keep quiet. Come and get me! Stay. Thanks. Make way. Try me. Where's my mark? Not now. Not yet. Here I go! I can't! I don't see it. I can't see it. Back in the fight. Don't see anything. What's the target? Appreciate it.
Let's go.
Don't mess with us.
No, you don't.
Hold it, you!
Coming from your right.
This time, you're gonna.
Gotcha.
They won't get past me! Can't see it. Just wait.
Quit moving.
Out of the way! I got this. I don't see it.
Stay.
I can't. Back in the fight. Name where? Hold it. My turn.
Quiet as the depths.
Point for you!
I can't believe they're dead. It's over.
Just like the good old days.
Envoy, thank you for dealing with those miscreants. There's a plague on these streets, and they are a symptom.
A gang of bullies shaking down honest folk seems more like the cause to me.
It's no more dangerous here than anywhere else. It's just that monsters here have knives instead of fangs.
You even killed Thala, the biggest, baddest of them all. The Sparrowhawks are gonna come after you. They don't. That's the problem. You don't have to come to my defense. No one sticks their neck out for anyone in these parts. It's not easy running a business in Paradise, but it can be profitable if you invest in some protection. That gang was not my wisest investment.
This is why you always ask for references.
You would need protection if you'd stop doing things that make people want to kill you.
Let me know if you're looking for anything in particular.
Yeah.